Hello, loved one. My name is Anhedonia, and I am a emotional wellness coach. I talk to people about mental health and a bunch of other wonderful things. But I really would like it. I have complex PTSD, by the way. Um, and ADHD. I got diagnosed when I was in like the second grade. I actually had to repeat the second grade because I was struggling to focus, but it was also informed by a bunch of things that were happening in my family life that were not factored in because that was not a thing. They were not, um, trauma informed things in the education system, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. What I wanted to talk about is the fact that there is a difference between being depressed and having a dopamine deficiency. Depression can actually mean a bunch of different things, but it's actually used for most people as this blanket statement of feeling a sense of disengagement with the world, low energy, sometimes accompanied by negative, intrusive thoughts, feelings of sadness, hopelessness, low self-worth, low self-esteem. Did I say helplessness? But yeah, sometimes it's related to just having fatigue, and someone might think that they are struggling with depression. Sometimes it is psychological. It's happening on a mental, level where you are feeling disillusioned and unable to focus or complete tasks. And other times it might be a hormonal thing. Sometimes it's environmental. Sometimes your nervous system is dysregulated, or you're in a freeze response and you're not able to get up. But depression is used so generally at the moment. And yeah, also sometimes it's genetics. That's a fun thing. But yeah, it's used as such a blanket statement and such a general thing, that it's hard to try to solution find when you hear the word depression and you just accept it very matter of factly. But there are several things that you can do to test whether it is dopamine or it's gut-based fatigue or it's I don't know how to test for being genetic or hormonal, or if it's like a but or if it's a but I so if it's your nervous system, right? If you're in a functional freeze state, that is when you are that's when it's environmental, where you feel such a lack of safety and your body you can't escape that lack of safety, or there's abuse that's happening in the environment and you automatically want to retreat. You go into a freeze state. There's flight, fright, freeze, fawn, that kind of knowledge system. But when you are going into this, whether it's a free state or it's a functional free state, you essentially are withdrawing and your body will kind of shut down gradually. Your parasympathetic nervous system is activated, and this is like, if you haven't learned about the nervous system, that's like your Google homework. But your parasympathetic nervous system is going into a freeze response, and you are, might feel a little bit more groggy. Your digestive system is slowed down. You might have a low sex drive. You might feel really, really drowsy, like right in the middle of the day, have trouble focusing. you might find that your body is really armoring. You don't feel safe around anybody. You're maybe hypervigilant and you're looking around and you're just really scared and nervous a lot of the time. You don't want to be around anybody. And if you just feel unsafe in your body. So there's a bunch of ways that you can regulate the nervous system or stimulate the vagus nerve. There's one that I like, which is like massaging the belly button. Other people do it through breath work. Other people will do it through dancing or somatic experiencing. This is like, processing the trauma through your body or like releasing that survival stress that's been trapped in the body. Some people might do it through talk therapy, but that can sometimes actually send you into a dysregulated state. When you continue to talk about the thing, it can feel to your body like you're reliving it. And so you have to be really selective about if you're going to do verbal processing, that you're not kind of re-traumatizing yourself, but instead you're actually, processing and resolving the thing. I'm sorry that I'm like super high energy while I'm talking about something that's potentially sad. But yeah, the second one that you can do to troubleshoot, so the first one is like learn about the nervous system and self-regulation, so you can cancel that out as a potentiality if you're struggling with depression. The second one is, and I'm not as knowledgeable as I would like to be on the chemical of dopamine and dopamine receptors and how the brain is doing all of those things. I'm still learning about it. But the second one would be understanding dopamine and how dopamine is in the body and what things you could do to potentially increase your dopamine or your general kind of cognitive function overall. So this is like making sure that you sleep. And if you're not getting dopamine, cashing out on them endorphins through exercise or through being around people, maybe and getting hugs, because that also can really pump up your endorphins and make you feel a little bit safe. It's also like, smiling, even if you don't feel like smiling, just condition telling your mind that like that body brain transfers where you change something in the body and then the mind is like, oh wait, are we happy? Like it kind of tricks your brain. So the first one, nervous system dysregulation, potentially dopamine or endorphins lacking. Sometimes it's related to your gut biome. So some people might try probiotics. That's a thing. If there's something that you need to do for your body, basically, in order to, troubleshoot and see what might not be functioning. I also have this awesome friend person, Linda. I don't want to mispronounce their surname, but they are a gut-based hypnotist. They work with people to understand the gut biome and the gut biology, how it interacts with the mind, and how that can also be impacted by your mental state. So if you are in a heightened state of stress, your nervous system also will affect your how fast your gut is able to process certain foods. You might have certain gut intolerances if you are overexposed to stress, particularly over a long period of time. So if you're not overloaded, let's continue. The third thing, if it is psychological, and you are struggling with intrusive thinking, you feel disillusioned, you feel a sense of hopelessness, maybe you are struggling with, you've been exposed to or experiencing poverty or, instability, and you feel like the situation isn't going to change and you're slowly losing hope and your mind is basically just reiterating and pumping you with negative thoughts and negative narratives that are making you feel really low energy and hopeless and isolating you even further, because maybe you're convincing yourself that people don't like you and these thoughts are just running amok in your head, but you think you're not, you might not be questioning them, and so you think that they're true. I really, really, really would love for you to challenge that. That one you can work through in therapy. You can work through in coaching by finding someone who can help you troubleshoot and like solution find. But the one thing that I would say is try not to isolate. Like that is one of the worst things for being, a person who's inclined towards depression, particularly if it's genetic, and there's, you feel like there's not a lot you can do, that intrusive thoughts just kind of happen to you. Try not to isolate. If you are inclined towards like faith-based practices, interact and talk to God, and like for me, very recently I found myself through reading what particularly like Christian doctrine, or the Bible says about how God values people, like that, or how God sees me, basically. It sounds, yeah, I'm having an interesting thing about like God and Christianity being used as a colonial tool. Anyways, there's like a whole thing about it in my head, so I'm like, but I've also had some really cool personal encounters just by asking God and praying, and I've gotten some like responses basically from my creator, whether you call that essence and energy by a different name, but interacting with it and conversing with it can help shift your identity and your sense of hope and your sense of peace or your place in the world. So those are not all inclusive, but I'm gonna hold it there for today. But yeah, if you have questions, or you have some you want some guidance, or you want to chat to me one-on-one, I will link my one-on-one booking link. I offer one-on-one coaching. I don't know if I should probably start with that. But yeah, if you want to work with me, I will leave a link in the description below. And if you just would like to, ask a question that you would like for me to talk about in a future video, you can leave that in the comments. And yeah, I'm wishing you joy and a sense of liberation and purpose and peace. And I hope that you enjoy the journey. Yeah, and if you're scared to go it alone, come with me. I'm learning so many things, and I speak about depression as a person who has struggled with depression and a lot of other mental struggles, and feeling isolated and alone in the world. And we're moving into a different space, and I really, really want to share the journey so far. So if you want company, or you want to join me, tag along, hit follow, hit like if you found this valuable at all. Yeah, I'm sending you so much love, peace and love.